Good morning, YouTube. Louie here with the best silver gold deals of Thursday, May 8th, 2025, the day after the FOMC decision. And as I thought, we are lower. All right, we've got gold down $23 to 3,340, and silver down 8 cents, having been off much more earlier in the morning, currently at 32.33. In the June futures, silver at 32.42, so a small differential there. The gold silver ratio went as high as 104 yesterday, I suppose, and now is hovering at 103, nosebleed area. And what I'd like you to do is when you look at the GSR in this particular market, think of it as a recession indicator because silver is a commodity, more so commodity than precious metal in our markets today. And when these ratios get this high, it is yes, you could say gold is valued more than silver. It certainly is at the moment. But you could also look at this as a temporary indication of recession. And then you'd have to think to yourself, what happens as we come out of recession or as fear of recession passes? Okay, to corroborate that, we can look at copper futures. Copper futures also down this morning. And again, I think we're in recession, and that is going to be my framework of thinking here. Moving on to the 10-year yield. 10-year yield is up 3.3 ticks to 4.308 as Powell stood firm yesterday, did not lower rates, did not change quantitative tightening, basically took a hard line, and fear is in the background of all of this. I'll explain what I think in a minute. Before I do, we've got the 10-year also stronger, up 0.21% to 100.81, as it looks like these rates will stay higher for longer. All right, so let's get on to the economic calendar and go back to Thursday. Go back to Wednesday, the FOMC meeting. All right, I'm going to tell you what I think here, and of course, listen to all and believe none. And I'm only one person with a theory here, but I think we know Trump thinks the bond market is the most important thing. He has said that, all right? Bond market more important than stock market. That's thing number one. Number two, he knows that the only way to reduce the deficit substantially is to bring rates down, short rates and hopefully long rates as well, but bring short rates down. So he wants the Fed to reduce the short-term rates. Why? Because much of the borrowing the government does is at the short end, okay? And with these rates up where they are right now, the deficit is screaming higher every month. So if you cared more about the bond market than the stock market, you'd be willing to sacrifice the stock market. How would you bring rates down when we've been facing sticky inflation? You'd bring them down by bringing down the economy, by bringing the economy into recession, maybe the only way to actually bring rates down. That's why he would sacrifice the stock market and the economy for lower rates to lower the deficit. Once the deficit and rates are lower, then Powell can come back in with his bazooka and start stimulating the economy again from a lower point. Now, Powell, on the other hand, and I think they're working as a tag team here, actually, despite all the stuff you see with Trump calling him a fool or whatnot, that's ridiculous. Powell's concern, and he's terrified of this, is his concern is not for inflation. In my opinion, there's lots of metrics and lots of reports on inflation disinflating or coming down. Inflation in housing, inflation in oil prices, etc. There are strong indicators that inflation is actually dropping. Now, Powell said he's fearful of tariff inflation. What he's really fearful of is not being able to sell his bonds into the market. All right, this is why he's staying tight. If he doesn't stay tight, if he loosens, if he drops rates, if he stops quantitative tightening, which he has not done, okay, he's staying very firm here, right? Which I didn't really think he would do. But now as I think about it, he cannot lose control of the long end. If he cuts rates or stops quantitative tightening or starts quantitative easing, the long end, the 10-year bond and longer, are going to probably explode higher in order to be able to sell that debt. So he's got to keep control of the long end. So Trump is doing his work on the economy, and this is all short-term stuff. Like, I don't think Trump wants a weak economy, but I think he wants lower interest rates and a lower deficit more than he wants a raging stock market. Okay, and Powell, he's got to watch the long end of the curve, because they got to keep selling bonds, and they have to sell so many bonds that if they drop those rates, then they're going to have a hard time selling them. Then he would have to swing back with quantitative easing and buying up the bond market, and then that again would it would result in inflation. So that's what I think is happening here, kind of a yin and yang, little kabuki dance between the two. I also think the markets are heading for a drop, and that's why I have my red light on, because I think that liquidity crisis, that liquidity drop, which is right around the corner, is going to pull everything down with it. With that said, today may not be a bad day to buy if you're just looking to average into the market and you don't necessarily think what I think is what you think. Feel free. Let's get on to the pre-market. In the pre-markets, we are back in the greed category at 57. Absolutely ridiculous, with companies no longer giving forward guidance, with companies having revenue concerns, Ford raising the price of cars, Mattel raising the price of toys. Okay, the tariffs are doing some damage that way. Nonetheless, the story this morning is that they're going to strike a trade deal with Great Britain. It's a non-story, because the Great Britain tariffs, I think, were only 10% anyway, and they are a strong ally. What really matters is what happens at the end of the week with China. And I don't think we mind at all bringing China down. Okay, we are bringing China down, and I think the situation in China is dire. All right, so that's my thought on that. But nonetheless, Dow futures up 317, S&P futures up 49, NASDAQ futures up 236. Good place to put a short on this market. Again, in my opinion, that's only what I think, and I'm just an armchair quarterback here. Let's see. Let's get on to Bitcoin. Bitcoin on this risk-on environment is smoking, guys. It is 99,520, back in a bullish, raging bullish zone, going along with the NASDAQ, which it likes to do, and it's in a bull market here. Okay, as are gold and silver, but we're getting a pretty good size consolidation here in the gold and silver markets. All right, I had to say all that because that is actually what I think. Let's get on to the deals. If you're looking for the best deals, you can get over to the website, bestsilvergolddeals.com. Follow along with me. You can click the links that I click here, and depending on what the spot market is doing, you may want to buy some of this stuff. Okay, and moving on, 1 gram gold is 123 at Summit Metals. The new customer deal for 1 gram gold is 108 at bullion.com. A 1/10 gold eagle is 373 at Summit Metals. A 1/10 maple is 371 at Summit Metals. A 1/10 secondary market. Oh, what the heck? I didn't get the right link in here. I'm sorry. Where was that? Oh, holy moly. This is on Liberty Coin. Let me try to find that really quickly. Oops. Hold on. Liberty Coin. And I found this in their gold section. We haven't highlighted much from Liberty lately, but here it is. Yeah, 354. Okay, it's on Liberty Coin. It's their 1/10 gold coin, random brand secondary market. So it could be any of these potential coins here, and they could be blemished. But nonetheless, 1/10 gold for 357 over at Liberty. I'll fix that link when I get done with this broadcast. So 357, it could have a rust spot, it could have a scratch, but not a bad deal if you think gold is gold and you favor sovereign. Very nice there. Let me get back to wherever the heck I was. Hold on one second. Right, and while I'm thinking about it, welcome all new subscribers and members. Thank you very much for coming along. A thumbs up is always appreciated. And just to remind you guys, I'm not sponsored by any of the bullion dealers, so I can just bring you my best, the best deals I can find anywhere on the internet and other places as well. Let's keep going, and thank you for those thumbs up. Okay, a 1/4 ounce gold eagle is $8.83 at Summit Metals. A 1/4 ounce Krugerrand is $8.78 at Summit Metals. A 5-gram gold, because Americans hate metric gold, could be a little cheaper for you, at $5.64 at Monument Metals. That is in assay. Okay, you can find it a little cheaper out of the assay. And moving on to a $5 commemorative, about a 0.24 ounce of gold. Cheaper here in the slab because it's a booby prize of MS69 or PF69. And that is $8.19 for a $5 commemorative. Again, about a 0.24 ounce of gold there. Let's move on to a 10-gram gold. You might like this price, $1,114. If you want to get the melt on that, you take $1,114 divided by 10 times 31.1. That's the conversion. And the melt on that is 3,464 for a 10-gram gold bar over at Golden Eagle, random bar in assay. Okay, let's keep moving here. Half-ounce gold eagle, 1710 at Summit Metals. Half-ounce maple, 1743 at Summit Metals. I don't know why the maples are more expensive than the eagles. Here we've got a blemished maple, some kind of minor imperfection, 1,734 at Bullion Exchanges. Always read the title. When Brilliant Uncirculated or BU is absent in the title, your red flags ought to shoot up, and you need to read the description of the coin. Half-ounce gold Britannia is 1,728 at Bullion Exchanges. Half-ounce gold Krugerrand, 1,737 at Summit Metals. 1-ounce gold eagle, 3,403 at Summit Metals. A Buffy is 3,452 at Bullion Exchanges, but cheaper on Costco. We'll get there in a minute. A 1-ounce gold maple, 3,403 at Summit Metals. At Walmart, you can get that maple for $3,452. And then, if you have that PayPal credit card, I recommend check out through PayPal. Get 3% off, and you'll have a smoking deal on that. But don't let them charge you sales tax. Just click away if they try to do that. 1-ounce gold Britannia is $3,392 at Bullion Exchanges. A 1-ounce Krugerrand is $3,356 at Bullion Exchanges. Good price on a sovereign gold coin there. The 50 peso, I believe, is still pretty close to spot at Bullion Exchanges. That is a Big Daddy 1.2 ounce of gold, $4,047. And no, nobody can afford it, but that is a good deal on a very nice coin. Okay, the 20 franc, if you're going small foreign, is $637 at Provident Metals. 0.1867, let's see, 0.1867 ounces of gold in these historic gold coins back in a day when governments backed their currency with gold. Everybody did, and everybody loved it until they stopped. Okay, let's do we'll skip the platinum this morning. We're not quite at 1,000 yet, so I can't tell what's going to happen with platinum. We've got a silver eagle is 36.56. Bullion Exchanges dropping their premium on the backdate silver eagles, 36.56 for 1 and 36.26 for 20. That's interesting that premiums are coming down on silver eagles. Pinehurst is more expensive this morning, but I'm going to leave the link. No culls that I can find anywhere at a good price. My red light is on only and only because I fear a liquidity crisis. If you don't fear that, then you could buy today. Because we're getting back into a zone, anywhere, anything with a 31 handle in gold or silver would be a good buy for where we are today, barring any kind of major stock market crisis. I hope I'm explaining my position well, because a lot of people want to keep buying here. A silver maple is 35.91 at Monument Metals, and a kangaroo is 35.79 at Hero. A blemished kangaroo, 34.19 for a really yucky kangaroo at Hero Bullion. A Britannia, 35.68 at Summit, and a Krugerrand, 35.37 at Summit. And a Philharmonic is 34.76. I don't know why the Philharmonics are cheap. Can't quite figure that out. It's an ounce of silver. It's well recognized. They make millions and millions of them. They have been known to spot, but so have many of the coins I'm showing you. So I don't really get that. Why? Do we have a better trade deal with Austria than we do with Great Britain? I just don't know why those are cheaper. Okay, let's keep going here, and we'll skip the Libertads this morning. Over on Costco, what you got for me? And will they drop their prices? Let's see, maybe they did. They tend to make changes kind of later in the day. So we got the silver bar at 369, the gold maple at 3,459, the buffalo at 3,539, and the eagle at 3,539. Always get the buffalo over the eagle, guys. You'll need your executive club membership and a good 2% rebate credit card to get 4% off. I could actually get 4.5%. I have a 2.5% rebate Visa card. So it's a smoking deal on these if you're buying gold this morning. But the price may come down if gold falls a little bit more here. Risk-on environment, people may be buying stocks today instead of gold. Let's keep going. That's it for Costco. And then we're going to do junk in the trunk. Okay, pretty good deal, 23.81 for dimes, rosies, over at Hero Bullion, and 23.81 is right around 33.40 melt. That is about, well, we're pushing 32 again, so that might be like $1.50 over melt on that junk. And the bigger lot is a little bit cheaper. I like the cast bars, the 10-ounce cast bars, link on my website. And secondary market bars, how cheap can we get those? $34.79 at Monument Metals. We can beat the hell out of that deal on eBay. And there we got kilos, a little bit cheaper this morning, 1,077. They show silver down 22 cents. Gold down $41. Might be the futures market dropping faster than the spot market. And nonetheless, there's a kilo for 1,071. Let's get on to eBay and find some good stuff. And when you go on eBay, I appreciate if you click my links here. This is how I keep the website going with support from eBay. And when you win, I win. Okay, let's do Silver Eagles. Let's see if we can find some culls this morning, since Vermilion will only sell his culls to walk-in customers. Thank you very much, Brian. Let's see, 742 for BU Eagles. That is 37 a coin, 36 out the door for 20 Eagles over at Aiden Coin. 36 ain't so bad. Let's check a bigger lot. A lot of 100 can be had for 37 a coin. Again, 36. So the tube of 20 is about the same price as the tube of 100. No culls to speak on. And 36 compared to the dealer price for 100 is right about there. We're going to do the big lot of 100 on APMEX, on Bullion Exchanges. And, oh, it's a push, $35.96. So about the same price, eBay versus Bullion Exchanges. If you're going to buy those today, buy them at the dealer and save your rebates for a better deal. Let's keep going here. Did I get lost? There I am. Okay, got to get back to the Eagles. Hold on one second, getting back to eBay. And there we go. So nothing great on the Eagles today. Let's do the rotation. A tube of 25 Maples is $8.94. A tube of 25 Britannias is $8.85. A tube of 25 Kangaroos is 900, and the Krugerrands are 889. 885 is going to be our best price on a tube of 25. We'll go over to the cheat sheet, and 885 is going to put you right at about 34.30 out the door with a 3% rebate credit card. The cards I like are on my website, so there you go. You can get those in the mid 34s, about the same as those. Was at the Philharmonic was a good deal at the major dealers. And what was the good deal here? The good deal here was $894. Was that it? $894. $889. The good deal is on the Krugerrand here. So if you compare the price of Krugerrands, the dealers will be at least $1 more. Now maybe some of you want Krugerrands for some reason. I don't know. They're lower mintage than most of these coins, but they're also known to spot. But if you're buying Krugerrands, definitely get those on eBay today. If you're just buying cheap silver, get the Philharmonics up at the dealer. Okay, let's keep going to junk in the trunk. And let's find something tasty for you. We want $10 face, and it is right. We want dates with $10 face. 24.7 puts you out the door at about 24 times face for $10. And let's go for a big old lot of junk. And that is, ooh, those are damaged and hold. We want the dates. And 24, ooh, we want the dates. I don't like the looks of those quarters, so I keep going up to these dimes. 24.24 puts you out the door at 23.5 times face for Rosie's. Same price for halves. Penny or two more for Franklin's. 23.50 for Franklin's. 23.5 times face for Franklin's. We'll get up to our cheat sheet. 23.5. I'm going to try hard not to pass it. 23.5, and I did. 23.5 times face out the door is going to get you a melt. 23.5 times face will get you a melt of 32.35. 32.40. Call it 32.40. That's right about at spot. Right about at spot, guys. So that deal right. Oh man, I'd get the Benjis on that one if you got a big bunch of money to get up off of, and you want junk pretty close to spot. That's a pretty good deal right there. One more time, you can get the dimes, the halves, the Benjis, the Walkers, all pretty good. Even some shiny Kennedys there. Oh, and the Mercs are only $10 more. Holy moly. Wow, that's good too. I like all those big bags of junk if you have a big budget. Let's keep going here. Okay, I think we're doing pretty good. And let me go on to, I'll skip the Carson Cities and the Morgans this morning. If you're not buying numismatics, what are you buying? How about a kilo? A kilo is 11.08. That would be about 10.80 out the door. Not terrible on a kilo. Here is your vintage bar of the day. Now, this is a real oddity, and I follow these San Francisco mint ingots from the 60s and actually have one. There's a registry for them, and this goes back to a day when the dollar was backed by silver, and you could trade dollars for silver and silver for dollars, and they would pour you a bar. And in this case, this was a bigger bar. Let me see if I can get a big. This was a bigger bar from the San Francisco Mint, and there is the mint mark to prove it. This was a bigger bar that somebody took in, had cut down by the mint, and then had them grease mark the remaining quantity of 21 ounces here. So this is a 21 ounce. Let's try to get a better. This is a 21 ounce. Okay. Combination mint mark bar and grease bar, and if this were whole, it would be somewhere in the $1,000 an ounce price range, right? This would be $20,000. But because it's been cut down, it is only $3,985, and I don't want any of you to buy this unless you have a really robust big old stack with all kinds of fancy stuff in it and you want something unusual and valuable. This is a valuable bar, but it's a one-off kind of oddity that I have never seen before. It belongs in a museum, in my opinion, and this is $3,985. He'll take a best offer. Very, very odd. Like I said, I've never seen one before. If you have, let me know. It obviously affects the value, because if this were a 5-ounce bar, it'd be $6,000. Here it's a 20-ounce bar and it's $4,000. I'm just like amazed by this. I think somebody will buy it, and it is, it's something you'd have to sell retail, but that's pretty strange and exciting. I mean, if I had a lot of money, I'd probably pick that up. Anyway, there you go. There is something weird. Your friends would be very impressed and amazed by that. Let's see. Now, keep in mind, the grease bars that have no mint marks go for much less. So that's what's depressing the value of this. And if you don't know what the grease bars are, go ahead and look that up. Okay, I'm going to start going a little bit faster here because I got to get through this video. You guys don't want to watch a 45-minute video. Here's a 1-ounce round, 1-ounce rounds, 34.20, 33.20 out the door with the cards I recommend. The tube of 20 is going to be 34.30, about 33.30 out the door for a random tube from bullion.com. Let's keep going. Let's do the 100-ounce bar. Hopefully they're cheap today. And we got to get up to a real deal, 34.18, 33.18 out the door for a 100-ounce bar. I'll skip the Peace Dollars and the Morgans and the Platinum Eagles. 1 gram gold is as cheap as $121 at Aiden Coins, about $118, $117 out the door. A little better deal here, quite a bit better deal here than at the dealer. Good seller, free shipping. Okay, so you could buy that 1 gram if you wanted to. A 1/10 gold is really $361. In stock, good seller, free shipping. 1/10 gold, $361. You'll be out the door at about $350. Pretty good. I think I showed you that yesterday. I don't know if anybody bought that or not. That's good for 1/10. We won't do the sovereigns. Let's do 1/4 ounce random gold. And here we got to go up a little bit to find the real stuff. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe we don't. Let's see. We don't want the Liberties. Here's something from Liberty Coin. This is a BU, Canada Bull. Bison, I should say. It is $10 and 10 Canadian dollar, 4 nines. 1/4 ounce gold, $8.83. Here you're going to take $25 off. You'd be at about $8.60, $8.55 to $8.60 on 1/4 ounce gold. Not too bad on that one. Okay. I guess I got to do the math to know for sure. So let's call that 860. 860 times 4 to get the melt, and your melt would be 34.40. Not terrible. Not too bad. Okay, that's 1/4 ounce. Bigger the gold, the bigger the savings. I'm going to go, we were saving money on 1/10 Gold Eagles yesterday, probably still will today. 10 gram gold, $11.48 on eBay. That'd be about $11.18 out the door. Not too bad. Random 1/2 ounce gold. Let's get something good in here. We got to get past all the ugly head coins. We're going to find you something good today. All right. I don't believe it. Who is this? Big seller. Good feedback. Free shipping. BU, straight from the tube. 1768. Let's slow down for that one. Oh my gosh, I'm getting a headache. 1768. Got up too early this morning. Times 0.97 with the PayPal credit card or the American Express Clear Blue Cash. Both links are on my website. 1714 out the door for a 1/2 ounce eagle. 1714 versus 1714 versus 1/2 ounce eagle. Oh my eyes. 1714 versus, let's see if we hit a home run today. Nope, it's a push. It's a push. I shouldn't have slowed down for that one. Okay, They're not giving away the Eagles today. Let's keep going. Let's find something bigger. Let's find something bigger in the, oh, let's just go to the 1 ounce random. 1 ounce random gold. What do you got for us today? Hold on. Hold on. Won't be 3,200. Will it be? No, we don't want Australian. 33.90. I don't believe that. Zero feedback seller. That's a scam. 34.21. 4 feedback seller. That's a scam. Let's go on to Gold Shot. 34.70 for Gold Shot. You could stack Gold Shot. Nothing wrong with that. Here's an interesting coin from Scottsdale. It is the what the heck? The Antigua and Barbuda Rum Runner. I guess they're having trouble selling these. 34.76. Take $100 off. Put you at 33.76. Not much over spot on that coin. And that will be, oh, in the card to boot. Hey, very cool. Is it a coin? Absolutely. It is a $10 gold coin. That's pretty cool there. Okay, there's cheap gold, fun gold. Nothing wrong with that. Vermilion Enterprises will still pay you 98% of melt on that, so you don't have to pay up for a Gold Eagle. Okay, that was pretty good. Let's go up to a Buffalo. Let's see how much we'll save on Buffaloes today. 35.60 from Scottsdale. That is a, oh, is it a BU? Come on, Scottsdale, you're better than that. BU. Okay, put it in the title, please. 34.60 for a Buffalo out the door, and 34.60 compared to 34.60 compared to, you miss it every time, Louis. 34.60 compared to 34.60. No, it's a push on the Buffaloes. Well, they're not giving away the sovereign U.S. gold today, are they? Okay, well, that's my gold story. The smaller gold actually was better deals than the bigger gold. All right, and let's move on. Stuff in my eBay store, you can always ask me for a friend discount. I never mind that. And channel members can always pick up my bars. I'm going to work on something new for June, and I'm not sure what that's going to be yet, but I'll be working on it. And you channel members, for your channel membership, entitles you to buy my silver at $250 over spot. Plus $5 shipping if you want one of my hand-poured silver bars. There's several neat bars that you can grab from me if you want that. Okay, stuff on eBay you may want. And a way to refine those big bars with the Devil Forge. The Amex card is the bomb. The PayPal card is the bomb. The Quicksilver card is also very, very good. I also like the Wells Fargo card and the Alliant Credit Union cashback card. Those are the cards I like the best. The picks of the day, I like these Morgans, these BU Morgans. $47.99 at SD Bullion, and they probably will not be fake, cleaned, whizzed, etc. Buy 20 and you get a whole tube, and I recommend stacking the Brilliant uncirculated. A lot of people like the Culls, and that's fine too. I like the BU Morgans, the pre-21 BU Morgans. You know I like the completer bar there. And let's keep going here to the salutations and commendations. And let's go, let's go. 3 coin shops on YouTube, all worth your time and effort to check out their sell prices and their buy prices if they're selling over the internet and not doing in-store only. 3 ways to support my work. Thank you very, very much for your support. And that's all I'm going to do today. I'm going to knock it off there. We can check spot price one more time over on, whoa, where am I? Over on Kitco, and figure out what the heck to do today, right? Okay, and gold recovering, now only down $13. Silver has reversed, now up 3%. I was hoping for a 31 handle on silver, and I said 31 on gold, but I think it's more like a 32 handle on gold. Still pretty cheap if you're averaging into the market here, and you could buy today if you think I'm wrong about the stock market crash. If you want to check stock futures, let's see what's going on with the rally, which is trying to make a fool out of me. But I'm sticking with my plan here. And we have got Dow is still up 310, S&P up 53, Nasdaq futures up 256. And, well, we'll have to see if this holds. I think the UK story is just kind of like a big nothing. The China story is coming up later in the week, and we know rates aren't going down anytime soon. So the 10-year bond ought to be pretty stable here, and the dollar probably ought to peg out somewhere around 100 in here. So the market has nothing to do here but go down, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. We'll have a lot of Fed head speakers out tomorrow talking about how they fear the tariffs and whatnot. But I don't think that's it. I think they fear the bond market and the bond vigilantes. Okay, what are your thoughts? And thank you for the thumbs up. If you have a friend that's paying too much for silver or gold, then shoot them my video, share it on your social media. I appreciate that. Subscribe if you haven't, if you want this punishment every single day. And I'll keep doing my best for you guys. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow.